Hey there, I'm Jill Allen, and this is Find Your Fierce, the show designed for women to discover your fierce, unlock an unstoppable mindset, build unbreakable courage, and completely transform how you show up every single day. Each week, I will bring ideas, methods, and strategies that will inspire you to step into your greatness and live life on purpose. Let's be fit, fierce, and unstoppable.
Welcome to Find Your Fierce. I am Jill Allen, and I'm so excited that you're here with me as we dive into another amazing episode 177, showing up each week to bring a little fire to your day. And we are going to be talking about all the things when it comes to trusting yourself to make good decisions and trusting your ability to show up big in your life and your own personal follow through, that it changes everything. And so if you've ever struggled with indecision or overthinking or lack of self-trust, this episode is for you, and I'm kind of walking you through how to practice self-trust, how to not belabor or second guess yourself, and how to get out of the spiral of overthinking. And we're going to be diving into how to build that self-trust, how to trust big decisions that you need to make, how to be someone who does what they say they will do, and how to become a good bet, trusting that your effort will always pay off. But before we go any further today, I love that you are here listening in and spending time with me. I have a couple of updates to share with you. One, Set Fire is available, and if you have not snagged a copy yet, do so on Amazon. The entire month of May, in celebration of Mother's Day, it is on sale, over 30% off. So if you want to fire up your life and ignite a spark of courage in you so that you can live your life on purpose, head on over to Amazon and order your copy right now. Also, the first ever Trailblazer Challenge kicked off, and it is not too late to join us. I am so excited for this, as the challenge is designed to help you get outside, unplug, recharge, and explore the beauty of nature. And the goal here is to hike a total of 4,000 minutes on the trails in the next 4 months. So whether you're a beginner or a seasoned hiker, the Trailblazer Challenge is for you. So lace up your hiking boots, hit the trails with us. Registration is still open. Go to jillallencoaching.com, hit Hike, Live, Explore. Also, just because you're listening, use the code HLE5 and you'll receive $5 off. And so I wanted to share that with you just because you are a listener here of Find Your Fierce. And I have to share this, as so many of you are leaving reviews or messaging me, and your feedback and your thoughts are so good. So here it is, the review of the week. It says, "These 20-minute messages are just enough to inspire me to be better and focus on my relationship with God. Always inspires me to dig deeper and go after the Lord and the fierce He put inside of me. Very easy to listen to, and looking forward to the next one." And guys, I share this with you because there is so much power in testimony and stories, and your feedback and support help spread the Find Your Fierce message. And the best part is that I get to hear how you are all finding your fierce. It totally makes my day. And so thanks again for sharing and leaving that review. So are you ready? I know I am, so let's dive in. Trusting yourself. How do you do it? And here's the thing, in order to trust yourself, you have to know yourself. Establish a baseline of friendship with yourself. Okay, so you're probably asking, well, how? Think about it. How do you get to know anyone? You spend time with them. You ask questions. You get to understand their story, where they want to go, what's important to them, what they enjoy. We get into people's interests and connections, and we get to know them. The same goes for us. Get curious about ourselves. And here's the thing, often we don't slow down enough and take the time to get to know who you really are. Oftentimes it's like, I don't know who I am, or what do I want? Or, if you ever find yourself in this position, it's time to create that margin of time to do just that, to try new things, without the pressure. Just begin to learn who you are. And if you don't have time for this, create time to get to know yourself, and then you will learn who you are and what you want. Because here's the thing, without vision, we will perish. And if you don't know who you are, you won't know what you want. It's time to prioritize this. It's time to start being so hard on yourself and being your own worst enemy. And be cautious of what you are speaking and telling yourself. Your words are so super powerful. So will you decide with me today that you will be kind, not just to others, but to be kind to yourself? And trusting yourself is an act of kindness. Decide to be a friend to yourself and then practice, take action. So here's some actionables that I'm going to share with you and what you can do right now. You can write out a list of times when you've made good choices, worthy of trust. It's hard when you have made poor choices before, or you struggle with maybe an addictive behavior, or feel like you have fallen short. When you make promises to yourself and then you break it, creating this fractured relationship. And instead of focusing on what's broken, we need to focus on where it is intact, where it is good, where you thrive. So where you have always shown up for yourself, where you have always advocated for yourself, that's what we want to focus on. And on the other side of the paper, right, let's bring everything to the surface and tackle it with where you have hesitated or second guessed or indulged in the indecision. Like, maybe it's picking out what gym you go to or what couch you should buy. I mean, it took me, no joke, 4 years to decide what chairs I wanted in my sitting room. Or when you want to start your new endeavor, where it becomes all consuming with just being stuck. We want to make sure that we focus on like both lists here. Let's call it out. And then we're going to write out another list where you didn't trust yourself and why that makes sense, right? Where are all the red flags and what doesn't make sense? Where have you not trusted your inner narrative or didn't trust your own value or your pit intuitions? And when you look at why you made the decisions that you did and when you didn't trust yourself, when you failed yourself in your own self-trust, right? Like something's off here, but you continue on anyway. I want you to go get it out there and, and say, I'm done with this story. It is no longer keeping me in bondage. And two, guys, it's helpful to say it does make sense here. So much freedom comes from that if it makes sense, right? I didn't trust myself, or that's why I don't need to change it or make it make sense. Then you can understand why you made the decisions. And if you understand why you've made those decisions, then you have more power over your decisions. Then you can trust that your future decisions will be better than they have been. So here's the thing. Past broken self-trust, it's a good thing. I spent years second guessing and overthinking because I trusted hard and I trusted the wrong people. And like anything, decision making isn't something that just comes naturally. It's a skill that we have to learn. We have to practice. We have to strengthen. So therefore, the decisions you made in the past, the broken self-path trust, right, of the past, it actually does make sense because you may not have had the skills or the tools when it comes to good decision making, or how to write out your thoughts or decipher between your thoughts and your feelings. So one thing I want you to do when you think about your decisions of the past, ask yourself these questions. How does it make sense? Would I do it differently? And 3, next time, what will I change? What will you change next? And we get stuck in this overthinking and tapping at other people for decisions and over confirming because we cast judgment on past bad decisions. And so instead of labeling a decision good or bad, or what would it look like to label it as the decision you wanted to make, that whatever the decision, you know that you can make it a good decision. All the decisions that you have to make and all the overthinking and the overwhelm that comes with it. So whether it's arbitrary and you have to decide on what color to paint your house or what job to take or what schools to go to, should I go to that route or this route? I believe you can make any decision a good decision, but you have to sell yourself on it and commit to it. Where we go wrong here is when we begin to second guess it. For example, when we began talking about selling our business after 23 years, we had all the reason of why, all the trust in our decisions. We took action, but there were times where we began to question and second guess. And every time someone asked or questioned, like, why are you selling? Or why are you calling it quits here? Or why are you moving on? There was this little moment where, did you really make the right choice? That would sneak in. So be prepared when you make a decision. The decision will be questioned, and that is completely normal. That is what the brain naturally does. It just goes there. There's nothing wrong with you or in the situation. Allow yourself to reaffirm the decisions you made, to recommit, to show up in that decision so you can live it out to the fullest. Another way I want to kind of pivot here today and go into what you say you are going to do. You do it. Quite simply, deciding to be someone to be trustworthy, who is of integrity, both with others and with ourselves. And it takes time to practice. But first, we have to identify that we are trustworthy, and then we go live it. We practice it. So how can you bet on yourself? If you ever remember a time where you have felt small or intimidated, or maybe you were in a plateau or spiraling mentally or not trusting your experiences, your training, your education, whatever it may be, that you are capable, know there is a shift when you begin to believe that you can. And when you don't trust that, you will spin your wheels trying to hustle and prove yourself into exhaustion. And a lot of work comes down to how we see ourselves. And that oftentimes we need to work on seeing ourselves differently, and how we see ourselves and how we approach life, and changing our mindset to train our brain to just trust, to believe that we are capable. I think of my son, Hayden. He struggled this year with baseball season. I mean, this year, all I kept telling him, until he believes this himself, right, to remind him of all the times that he has trusted himself when he stepped up to that plate, and be confident in that he is a good bet. That when it comes down to it, all I know is that I would want that kid on my team, in the game, in play, on my side every single time. Everything he brings to his team, his friends, his family, to life, that it all works out. And it may not always work out the way that we think, but quitting is never an option. And if failing is just a stepping stone to a win, guys, it's progress no matter what. So when he begins to question, should I do this or do that or go after this, or if he's out there struggling or can't decide or wrestling with coming up short, I tell him that he's a good bet, that he's a good investment. And I'm going to say the same thing to you. You are a good bet. And you're probably thinking, well, how do I know that? Well, if you are listening to podcasts and you are here wanting to improve and do the work, guys, that's a pretty good indicator. And I know that you now have some of the tools. You have the tools to say, what do I want to believe? What am I willing to show up for every day? What will I make failure mean to me along the way? We stop trusting ourselves because we think an indecision or a bad decision or a setback or a perceived failure makes us not capable of trusting ourselves, or that we're not capable. And none of that is true. It's all part of the process. So how can you create a mindset where you believe that you are a good bet? So when you say, should I get a massage, or should I invest in myself, or, should I go read, this book, or should I start this program, or should I begin to write the book, or should I go get that degree? Here's your answer. You are a good bet. Take an opportunity and maximize it. You can deepen that belief of being capable and of being a good bet, that you are a good investment, that you are worth it. And you can begin with this. 1, always show up for yourself. Make a decision and follow through. Remind yourself why the decision is a good decision, that you know it was a good one. You show up for yourself, advocate for yourself, show up emotionally. Be that friend to yourself. Another thing too, be impeccable to your word. Do what you say you're going to do. 3, have your own back. When things don't go well, you ask yourself, what can you change? How can you improve? That you're open to pivoting and won't wallow in self-pity. Also, 4, train. Train your brain, train your mind, move the needle in the right direction. Decide who you want to be. What do you need to start doing? What do you need to stop doing to become this person that you are desiring to be? What do you need to do to continue to be the person that God created you to be? And here are a few affirmations for self-trust. Guys, we can start speaking it. I am a good bet. I make good decisions. I am worthy of trust, and I act in a way that builds trust with myself. I have my own back. My inner voice is clear and strong. I trust God's plan for my life, and I'm practicing listening to his guidance. I have the courage to show up in this world as myself. I'm okay making decisions other people don't agree with. I love trusting myself. Happiness is my natural state. It's safe to trust myself here. I always know what's best for me. I can make any decision a good decision. I make good decisions that make my life better. My gut tells me when something is off, and I'm good at listening to it. I seek inner peace, and I can hear God's promptings. I believe in myself and in my potential. I'm good at follow through. I can create emotional certainty in the face of uncertainty. God guides me and will always be with me. Guys, we just got to rewrite the narrative. rewire our pathways of our thoughts and our brain, our mindset will shift. Our reality in return will shift. I hope this fires you up as our time together always does me. Before we wrap this up, there is something about getting outdoors, unplugging, and spending time in nature, and it's time to unleash your inner adventurer with the Trailblazer Challenge that just kicked off. You can join the challenge and be a trailblazer. Just head on over to jillallencoaching.com. You don't want to miss it. Remember to use the code HLE5 to get $5 off. And if you're wanting even more fire in your day, there's so much for you to do. So you can join our Just Breathe Facebook group, snag a copy of my new book, Set Fire, that just released. Join us in the adventure of a lifetime this August for the Backpacker. We are hiking the White Mountains, and it's going to be so good. Again, be sure to go to jillallencoaching.com for all updates, as we would love to connect with you. Positive connection is so game-changing. Come back next week. We are going to set some fire to your days by talking about how to be more assertive. I know that you're going to love it, as it's going to help and encourage you to up-level. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I pray that I filled your heart with joy. If you could let me know before hopping off, that would be incredible. Subscribe, share this episode link on your social media if you felt encouraged or inspired, as we all know someone that can benefit. And I would love it if you would give some feedback and a review as well. Talk with you next time. Be fit, be fierce, be unstoppable. See ya.